It's gonna be my finest hour. I'm gonna make a change tonight.
Okay.
Don't stop me now, cause I got the power. Just be with me on my finest hour tonight. It's gonna be my finest hour. Don't stop me now, cause it's coming on. I'm gonna have with Brad, and everyone is gonna be my friend tonight. It's gonna be my finest hour. It's gonna be my time tonight. I've got a weird little friend named Zelda. We're gonna have a good... The ending of this movie is so good.
What are we doing?
I didn't realize that I watched this movie when I was a little kid, and the ending of this movie still gets me.
What's the beginning of this movie?
It's called Teen Witch. See, that's the thing about, they always talk about representation. I have no problem relating to a teenage girl. I don't understand at the end of this movie, I'm like, I'm Teen Witch. Like, who gives a shit? I related to Blossom. I relate to this girl.
Yeah.
At the end of this movie, I'm really excited about getting together with Brad. So this is a movie about accepting yourself.
Okay.
This is a movie about witchcraft. And more than anything, this is a movie about white high school kids who rap while wearing fedoras. And it opens, she's on a rooftop twirling. She's twirling, Jordan. Which, this is her sex dream. I think women's fantasies don't even have sex in them. She just looks pretty and she's twirling.
All right.
She's like, this is so hot. And then the whole movie, she's in love with Brad, the most popular boy in school. And he comes up. And then he comes up to her to kiss her, and she's like, "No, you can't have it, because they love that." You know what I mean? She's like, "You can't have it, but chase me, Brad." And then she runs, and he chases her. She wakes up, and then she comes outside, and I guess the popular girl who's dating Brad happens to live next door. So every morning she has to watch this girl get in Brad's car, and then her friend, but they don't have a car, they have bicycles, and then she has a friend who has a big hat. So she goes to high school, and this is the first time we see the rappers. I would only describe these guys as it's like theater kid rap.
Okay.
They're dressed like an a cappella group, and they've got West Side Story dance fight energy, but they're rapping. But it's like happy 80s rap.
Okay.
Like rap used to be happy.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Back when it was like, my name is whatever, and I'm here to say, eat your veggies in the biggest way, or whatever. You know, it was always like, stay off drugs and you'll be cool. Like rap was happy for a couple years. I feel like the gangster rap probably came in around like 87. So this movie hadn't heard of it yet. They're still doing the happy rap. Like I think Run DMC. Uh-huh. I want to. I'm probably wrong. I feel like Run DMC and like the Beastie Boys kind of got rap popular in the mid '80s.
Okay.
But there was no sense of like there's a culture to it where you should feel bad if you do it cheesy. You know, it was at the end of Revenge of the Nerds.
Right.
Like everyone was just doing
Monster
it.
Squad.
Yeah, everyone in the '80s was fascinated with rap, and it wasn't like this thing. Like, it was just, like, happy. It was like hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. If your girl's misbehaving, you get with her friend, you know? Somehow from the 80s to the 90s, we went from, like, my name's whatever, and I hope you know I'm rapping for the black, brown, and yellow. Somehow we went from that in the 80s to the 90s, we went to, I fucked your wife, you fat motherfucker. How did that happen? What happened, guys? It was so happy when it started. Nope, you know what I mean? No one's... You know who's never going to be slain in a drive-by? Humpty. So they're rapping. They're like, I got the high school blues. You would just rap about, I got nothing to lose and I ain't no fool, but here I am. I got the high school blues. You know what's really funny is I'm just the right age. Yeah. There was a period of time when I was like 10 where whenever we had to do a presentation, I would rap it.
Hell yeah. Dude.
I swear to God. I remember to this day being like 10 years old and wearing an Adidas tracksuit. And I did a presentation for the whole class where I did a rap about North America. Like I rapped and I think I stood like a b-boy, and I think at one point I just remember I said, I hope you know that the Mississippi River goes all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. Check it out. Here we go. And nobody stopped me, and we hadn't invented camera phones. This one guy goes, do you even go to school here?
What?
And then they're like, we're out of here. And then they do like their little dance leave. They're like, we're out of here. Dance away.
Jazz hands.
Yeah, it just feels like cats or some shit. And then she's riding her bike home. And Brad is in the car with the most popular girl. And she starts trying to kiss him because everyone's trying to kiss Brad.
God damn.
This fucking guy.
This kid.
He's just trying to live his life. Yeah. And she's kissing him and he gets distracted and he runs Teen Witch. Louise off the road, but she's embarrassed more than anything, and he's like, I'm really sorry, because he is a nice guy. He's like, we can give you a ride home, and she's like, no, just leave me alone, I'm mortified. And then the bitchy girlfriend is like, she said no, Brad, let's go. I want to give you more kisses. So then they drive off, but then she realizes she has a flat tire, so she's like, what do I do? I don't want to I need to call my parents, I guess. The one payphone is not working. So she wanders, she sees a house and it's got like a neon hand in the window and it's palm readings and it says Madam Serena, psychic.
Okay.
So she goes in there and then out comes to use the phone and out comes our pal Zelda Rubinstein.
All right.
And she's wearing like a turban with a big seashell on it. Like she's doing like the whole like psychic thing. And it's you get the idea that it's a grift, but she sits down and she's like, "I'll read your palm," and she's like, "I just want to." She really just wants to use the phone. She's like, "I'll read your palm; it'll be fun." And she looks at her palm and she's like, "Holy shit, you're not a mark! Like I was going to take advantage of you and pretend to be a palm reader, but palm readings being bullshit. But you know what's real? Being a witch.
Oh shit!
And according to your palm, you're a witch, lady.
Weird.
You're one of us.
All right.
And she even goes, "You're her." Because we find out they've known each other in their past lives.
Okay.
And she just kind of says, like, she doesn't believe it at first. And she says, you're about to turn 16, aren't you? And she's like, yeah, next week. And she says, you're going to start having powers.
Okay.
You're going to start noticing powers. And she's like, yeah, whatever. And she leaves. So she's a theater kid. So she's talking to the drama teacher, who's the one person she relates to. And the drama teacher, it's weird. When she talks, you're like, holy shit, this is Mrs. Krabappel.
Oh,
it's so weird.
That's so weird.
Because it's a different face. She's Mrs. Krabappel and so hard.
Yeah.
So she's Mrs. Krabappel. Am I saying that right? But then Mrs. Krabappel says, oh, look, I've never seen this necklace before. This magical looking necklace. And then she's like, oh, what? It's weird. It's got like it looks old. It looks ancient. And it's got like a little blue jewel on it. Clearly it's some magic stuff. And she's like, I feel like you should have it. So now she wears the necklace. So then she goes back to Zelda Rubinstein. And she says, we've always known each other. And she takes down like a witch yearbook. It says New Faces of 1652. She shows them as like their original form. I guess they reincarnate and they keep meeting each other. She says the necklace found you.
Okay.
And it always finds you. And it's so funny. Zelda Rubinstein looks like Zelda Rubinstein. Again, she's a dwarf. Yeah. And she's older. And it says her in her original witch form, it says burned at the stake. And then the pretty witch, it says question and let go. Because even back then it was a double standard. They're like, wow, sorry about the inconvenience. You're free to go. So they've known each other forever. And she says, like, I'm going to help you with your powers. And I think this is the point where she says, we can make money, So she takes a rock and they do a little spell and it becomes money. And she's like, that's crazy. And she says, here's a book. These are some practice spells. Work on these. So she goes, there's a fun scene where she goes to a carousel outside. It's behind her. And she says a spell and the wind comes and she says, and then it gets louder. It gets stronger as she does the spell. And then she does another spell and the wind stops. And then she does another spell and it rains. And she's dancing in the rain. At which point I was like, okay, wait a second. So someone named Rubinstein is showing her how to make money and control the weather.
Oh no!
I was just like, where are we going with this? I mean, I'm on board. Whatever you want to do. I'm like, what's next? She's like, and for our next spell, we're going to take advantage of a Motown group. What are we doing? The past was doing its best.
That's the theme song.
Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. They were doing their best.